Okay, hello, good morning, everybody.
Good
Hi.
morning.
So, are you enjoying the conference so far? Okay, one clap if you've learned something from earlier session. Ha! No, only few. Two claps if you want to learn more. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so since we're a bit delayed, we will now introduce our speaker. They're a power couple. And just a special trivia, they are Southridge and Woodrow's alumni. So, we're going to be talking about apostolic initiatives for parents, as stated in the title. Our speakers are Lance and Isha Capulong. Lance is married to Isha for 10 years with four kids, three girls, and one boy. On their free time, they go out giving talks on chastity, modesty, real love, and marriage. Lance is a certified family educator under CBCP and San Carlos Seminary Graduate School of Theology. He is also a full time businessman running his cleaning product called Kurin together with Isha. Runs food and fitness franchises and runs the family business in the manufacturing and the real estate sector. So without further ado, I am now giving the floor to Lance and Isha Capulong. Let's give them a warm round of applause.
Thank you, guys. So, this is a very interesting crowd because half of the people we know, and then half are really totally, uh, we have not seen. I suppose there are foreign delegates here. Welcome to the Philippines. You have arrived in the not so hot period, so you're lucky. Not so humid. Welcome, guys. So we're very excited because actually the pictures, some of the things that we'll be sharing with you are things we did not even within the year, but just in the last 6 to 8 months. No, um, very exciting because this topic, apostolic initiative, no? So yeah, so seems so heavy, right? Well, if you want the lighter topic, you're here, you're in the right room because the other topic is very heavy, very serious. Sexual education on children, right? So how can you compete with that, right? So but nonetheless, we're very excited to share a lot of maybe storytelling on our part because maybe hopefully share with you some of the best practices you could say. But again, it's mostly storytelling. That's why I brought my beautiful and trusty wife here with me to share with you these things. No? So, okay. So, let's begin. Okay. So, to begin, apostolic initiatives, um, we have to be there. We really truly immerse ourselves, make genuine friendships. And I think what's important there is we have to really enjoy yourself. No? So, you have, when you're there, when you're with people, they have to sense the happiness from you and vice versa, really. Because it's good to be with people, right? Um, the term, the term, I guess I'm not the expert here, but Don Fernando said we are not doing apostolate, we are apostles. So naturally, as baptized Christians, whatever we do should be apostolic, I suppose, right? So the first thing we should do, in fact, Isha and I, when we were trying to prepare this workshop, we realized, hey, we will outline what we've been doing, but the emphasis is this part, honestly, this first part. No, I'll show you some pictures here. Okay, so there, immersion, right? So that's our grade 1 batch, Southridge on the upper right. On the lower right is random Woodrow's parents attending a talk that we were able to organize. And of course, a circle group, which is like a prayer group of mine, having a meal after, no? So what do we do? So when we say immersion, it's just being there, no? There is no time wasted, right? So it's every opportunity. Of course, as we have a grade 3 Woodrow's, and then we have a grade 1 Southridge Sun. No? Uh, so there's so many things that we have to do now. We realized we missed the pandemic in a way because we had to homeschool, and we realized we had a good time homeschooling. We had free time doing football for my son, tennis anytime, swimming. We had a blast. It was a good experience for us. But at the same time, now we're kind of re-immersing ourselves back to normalcy, right? And so, as of course, the first reaction as normal human beings is, hey, there's it's too much activities. There's just too many, right? So from school activities, mandated activities, optional activities, and then have to bring your kids, you have to meet as parents, and then attending talks, seminars. Yeah, it could be overwhelming, no? But for us, okay, yeah, say no. If you're already getting sick, get some rest, of course. But if your attitude is, hey, any opportunity, I am an apostle, any opportunity now is a positive opportunity to actually make friends. So immersion, no? That's the first part. So how does that work? For us,
J-
darling, you want to talk about that?
So, as Lance was speaking, and I'm looking at the crowd, I think we have a mix of people in the education field, those who are leaders in their group, in their group. So, how exactly is this particular talk or workshop relevant to you? Because in the end, all of us will end up um entering into a entering into the hearts of a family through the parents. So that's why it's super important to find out how to do these apostolic initiatives with the parents, how to really create friendships with them. And these are just a couple of examples. Some of you are parents already, and you will really be invited to some of these parties. And that's when you get to know them directly. You can go to the next
It's
item.
very intimate, at least for, especially for us in the Philippines, no, to be invited to a personal uh, gathering, no.
Yes.
So of course, hopefully not, right? Wakes, burials is a very personal thing, right? But for us here who are parents, we attend all of these things. I mean, it's crazy how, of course, it's already been you could say, compared to our time of when parties were just simple, where our parents hang up balloons. Now it's really big parties, right? So
Well, in particular in the
in
Philippines,
the
it
Philippines.
can get quite big.
So but the idea here is when you're there in these nice intimate moments, then there are opportunities for when the time comes that you need to talk to them about doctrine, you need to talk to them about uh, you know, seeing opportunities about adding more skills as parents. These are the like a good soil for developing that relationship, because as that book said, right? So how to win friends and influence others. You have to be friends with them first. I realize as a businessman, relationship is important. You want to get a deal done, you want to be able to negotiate where both of you will win, you have to have that friendship. So as attend as much of these things, no, as you can.
And in these parties, I think it's very important, apart from sharing what you know, is really opening your ears up and listening to what
Mm,
exactly they need. I think a big part of that immersion isn't just telling them what they need,
yeah,
but finding out what concerns them the most.
yeah,
And from there, you'll start seeing where you can fill in the gaps.
yeah.
So,
And you're more or less feeling the temperature of everybody, no? So the moment you're there, especially parties for kids, but the dads are drinking on the side, right? There's some alcohol on the side. They start talking. You start hearing. You actually see the actual situation, right? You'd be surprised. Some of them, okay, they're not married. Some of them having a hard time. Okay? So you see, you'll sense it. You'll feel the temperature. You'll feel the temperature. Oopsie. Ah, there. Okay, yeah, of course.
okay, this is one of the funniest because a lot of before I became a parent, I realized that a lot of the times the parents are very busy, and the parents also have changed because in when I was being raised, my mother kind of just raised me in a way that she just let me go to and be with my other siblings. She wasn't exactly present, but now the parents, I notice they're very present.
Yeah.
They want to know what's happening to their kids. They want to know their friends. They want to know what's in. Even I see myself as, oh, I want to know what's in now. Like, who's Chapel Rowan? You know, these new names. And apart from that, the parents are also trying to find ways to self-care. And a big part of that is sports. And we have the opportunity to be in a community where sports is a big social gathering
Yeah.
and a
It's
and a
particular to our location.
yeah,
Actually, we're very lucky because
exactly.
there's a lot of football fields, basketball courts, tennis courts in this area, depending on where you are. I mean, I play golf myself. I'm a golf mate with some of the husbands of some people here. And yeah, I mean it's another opportunity to grow friendships. No? It doesn't have to be that you will invite them to a doctrine class. No, your presence should be sufficient, right? So sports, it depends on the location, really. No, but generally where the school is, there is usually sports, right? So because of
Agree.
we've seen also, I think the difference. I was a varsity basketball player in Southridge here. Before the practices were just mostly in house. Now there are clubs. So I heard that if you are a football varsity player here in Southridge, you can also be a part of one or two other clubs outside, right? So then again, is that something that we, okay, it's a fact, but another opportunity,
So
right?
apart from it being I talked about how it's a self-care, especially for us
Yeah.
moms. But apart from that, it can be really, it's totally a completely a social situation where you get to know them apart from just speaking with them, because then you see the way that they play,
Mm.
and then you
Their
understand
reactions
their
to
reactions
many.
to shocking points that
Yeah.
you give to them. So it's sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so next. So this is still part of the immersion part, which we said, no? We're emphasizing on that. Okay, this one is very important. Okay, the light hangouts. For the Filipinos, the way to the heart is through the stomach, right? So I think we agree with that. Uh, everybody agrees with that. I think it's important that when we do invite them for something, we always have to follow it up. I don't know if it's a cultural thing for the Filipinos. I don't know if it's applicable to our foreign delegates here. But again, a lot of light moments happen in the meals, uh because it's an so example, like on the right side, it's we just had a very heavy uh philosophy class on uh on the right side with the dads there. We were talking about gender, right? On And then the Christian philosophical background to be able to understand, to make your children understand why there should only be man and woman. So could be very heavy. No, but then you see, uh, in the meals, they will talk. The participants will talk, and then you see how they absorbed it, and then their own personal concerns. Some of them may have absorbed only a few. Some of them may be actually in a different position on what was being taught. No, but they're there, right? So, but the idea in these, I emphasize meals, 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 right? Because we found that this is really, at least for us Filipinos here, very important. Really very important. If you want whatever activity that you're planning to do to be
Need to
successful,
include food.
you have to include food, no? So
Doesn't matter.
even for
Cookies.
us, for the dads, a beer or two during or after or before, it helps a lot. Because sometimes a class is a class, but a hangout or a get together changes things, right? So the meal, I think, I forget if it was a business book that I read, that one of the best board meetings are usually held in within a meal. I heard that there's a statistics about this. No? So if that's applicable to business, then I guess it's also applicable to this, right? Okay, I'm still in the immersion, guys. Okay, now, okay, so we're done with that. Now, once you've seen that, so in our case, okay, we attended first. We have a grade 3 Woodrose, and then now we have a grade 1 son. Okay, naturally you will see. Okay, after you've attended everything, is it enough? Maybe it's enough. No, maybe sometimes you don't have to reinvent things. That's already enough on your part. No, doing apostolic things. No, but you'll naturally see, being in the front line, being on the ground with everybody else, you will see gaps. You will see opportunities. So, for example, depending on your expertise, uh, some of you are experts here on education, how to make children smarter, maybe, or how to be better parents, how to be good Christians, right? You will see that. And so, to be able to do that, then you can actually get yourselves a bit organized, to more friends. And in the next pictures and slides, Isha and I will share with you what we actually Uh,
What's been working for
what's
us?
been working and
And
what
it,
we've been working on in the last, actually, the slides are fairly fresh.
yes.
They're all within the last 6 to 8 months. Okay. So I'll give you examples so that you can hopefully, oh, also, if you want to ask questions
Even share.
or
We
share,
would love
we'll
that.
be very happy to. So I think there's a mic. Where's the mic? No, no, the mic's outside. Okay.
Oh, it's been done.
Yeah. Any questions so far on that part?
TED Talks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sorry,
Play
let me
on
go back. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so first is the this is not my this is my friend's TED Talks, a play on TED Talks, no? But this is the one I was telling you about. So it's theology talks, but we made sure that it's actual practical application, no, to address a specific issue on society and the country and families. In this case, you see here, dads. It's mostly about sexuality, gender. So how do I convince my children that there's only two genders? But it's within uh, the whole heavy topic on theology and philosophy behind it. And see, for us, the success here in the 4 runs that we've done, it's the nods, no? While they're attending. So you see, as the speaker is talking about the basic fundamentals, philosophy, ganyan, yan, you will see them nodding, understanding, okay, what it is about to be a human being, why, God's design, etc., etc. But see, they wouldn't have attended that if it were just purely about theology or philosophy alone. It was more or less the hook here was, hey, there is a problem in society today. Society is pressuring us that there are so many genders, right? So I forgot, I lost count, but good news that Facebook, I think, is already moving back, going back. I think we're back to 2 genders, thank God. So, but that's the hook. Concerned parents thinking about wanting to equip themselves to be able to answer their children and convince their children, no, when the time comes, no. So that's TED Talks. This is, I think, around 8 more or less classes. So you see there's food already in between, as I was emphasizing. So the key best practices, I would say, intimate group, keep it small, maybe maximum of around 15. And then these are actually parents who know each other. These are not random. We made the poster and then we didn't even have to. We just created a Viber group of people who already know each other because of the years that if these are a little they're the older a little bit, sorry for the term, no, but older batches, Southridge parents. They've been together, they see each other in the activities. Now it's more natural for them to actually come and get together, no? So that's TED Talks. Next. Sorry. Wow. It's working a while ago. Maybe it's the battery. Hi there. Okay, so yeah. Since we are all here in PAREF, uh, schools, uh, what we found out here, the next group is called Basic Brush Strokes. So we did a bit of an informal survey with some uh, elder, so grade like later aged parents, like parents of grade 10 to 12. And it was shocking for us when we asked them, like, hey, do you know Saint Jose Maria? Do you know Opus Dei, what it is really about? And then they would answer, a bit. That's their answer. So we decided to just really literally have a 4 session group, a 4 session get together to talk about key topics of the message of Opus Dei and Saint Jose Maria. For us who are doing it, sharing the wonderful aspects of our vocations, no? So both for members, cooperators, a specific topic is like, so okay, what is Opus Dei? Obviously, next is what is sanctifying your work as a professional, because parents, it's exciting because you have there a wide variety of a person who is a lawyer, a person who works for the Senate of the Philippines, a person who's a doctor, a surgeon, different kinds, businessmen. And so parang to be able to actually sit down with them in an intimate group, talking about these things and how we apply it to our own lives, very nice, no? And it's just it's because of course we are in PAREF schools, we would think maybe automatically that hey, everybody gets the message. I think that's one thing we have to be cautious about, and also be concerned that hey, we may think it's like a factory line. I'm a manufacturing. I run our factory. It's not automatic. It's not. Just because they have enrolled their children does not mean they have already been hearing everything. No, they may be receiving invitations to recollections, invitations to doctrine classes, but we figured, and later on we'll talk about that particular thing that we saw that was fairly successful comparing to just blasting a message on invitations. Okay, so okay, let me pass on to Isha. Okay, sorry about that. Oh nga, I have a mouse. Oh nga. Ah, there you go. Okay,
Oh,
Isha.
so a little
Ooh,
bit excitement here. We talk about Taylor Swift. Okay, so the whole reason why we came up with this particular talk is because we realized that among us women, or among us mothers, we're a bit concerned about.
even dads.
Okay, fine, and dads as well. We're a bit concerned how she became almost goddess-like level. Like everybody loves her. They practically worship her. Like what is up with her? Like she has these eras tours, and like students are asking their parents for money so that they could go abroad and
You'd
watch
be
her
surprised, like
concert.
you're in the car, you're driving, and then a Taylor Swift song is playing, and then all of a sudden, my 9-year-old daughter just memorizes all of her songs. So like, oh no, what is she saying to my daughter? Is
And
she?
I mean,
I
let's
know
be
she has.
like let's be honest. I mean, almost all the the artists nowadays, they talk about things that are not appropriate for a 9-year-old, and maybe some of the songs are a little bit more descriptive of, well, not really good things. So we decided to have a talk on Taylor Swift, and it's more of a like a philosophical look into it. And the reason why we had this was to introduce that the priest now in Woodrose is the chaplain, to be a little bit more approachable. Like you can approach this priest and talk about things like Taylor Swift. It's no problem. And so these parents saw that, and they're a little bit more open. Oh, maybe I could like ask and chat with him about whatever I'm going through. And so he was able to talk about it. So if you're wondering what exactly was the topic, we he went through some of the
So,
word
the
the
lyrics.
lyrics, and he didn't put her down at all. He didn't say that, oh, these are really explicit, you should probably ban this from your home. No, nothing like that. It was more of like, let's understand her as a person. Why exactly did she talk about this? It's talking about a universal issue of, maybe she's sad, she's going through
And why are the
something,
girls
a
relating
heartache.
relating
Yeah,
to her so well?
exactly. And there are actually points of improvement to this particular talk because it was mostly just a talk. But some suggestions gave that we should actually have a listening party
Yeah, it's like
first
a book, parang
beforehand.
appreciation, right?
Exactly,
Appreciate.
almost like a book club kind of thing. And it really opens the floor to find out that these parents are interested about
It was interesting
these
during that
artists.
actual session, and it was actually the dads who were like,
You know, it's so
so
funny.
so like asking a lot of questions, trying to understand. Uh, okay, what she's trying to say here
Yeah,
is some dad was saying it's something not new. It's like a lot of Shakespeare stories that we learned in PAREF
exactly.
are actually just recycled things that are being sung today. So tragedy, love, quarrel, etc., etc. So it was nice. Yeah, no, so
Exactly. So if you wanna start this up, you just give me a call, I'll give you some feedback on how to improve it even. So
so
can
see,
you
so the nice thing about this thing, and you see it's a fairly full room. I think it's the whole idea that hey, during this time, the concerts of Taylor Swift was just really like the talk of the town, right? So it's a nice opportunity because as parents, you're curious. Hey, well, we're actually fans ourselves, right? So we're still we're fans. So, but it's nice as parents to understand, okay, to understand the why we're attracted to these things, and our children why they're attracted to these things. And then of course, yun, we let a priest do the talking, and it wasn't about, hey, this is bad, this is immoral, blah blah blah. No, it was about, hey, let's appreciate it. I even talked about, hey, Father, I am a fan of hip hop myself. What do I do? But now that I am an adult, I realized that the lyrics is just so bad. So, and then, but we like it. I like it. And then the priest answered, hey, why don't you just appreciate the beat with your son, and dance to it? So okay. So next is yeah, of course, we cannot. So see here, basic Christian doctrine is usually offered where maybe in a PAREF school there is a nearby center for men or women. This is automatic, correct? But what we found to be very effective is actually breaking them down, breaking people down, rather than having one full class of doctrine class and, hey, this is the schedule, attend if you like. How in Southridge we have 1,000 parents. You could barely fill up a classroom if you do an invitation. What we found to be very effective is understanding the natural groupings. So this group was well, this was the initial run that we did. The next runs we've heard was, since the batches here in PAREF are so involved compared to other schools, they realized that if you actually have batch doctrine classes, it was better attended because they're natural friends. And then in a doctrine class, unlike a talk, you can ask questions. I even encourage them, ask all your crazy questions to the priest.
And we discovered as well that usually it has to coincide with whatever the students are also learning. So if
Right.
they're say
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
if
right.
they're talking about
What are they
thou
learning
shalt
now?
not
Yeah.
kill, or
Yeah.
maybe that specific commandment, then it's supplemented by the parents also learning the same topic, so they can better disseminate the information or what they know about the topic to their children as well, especially if they have questions.
Actually, that's right. Very nice. That's a good input, right? So to time your topics based on the kids' religion or yeah, yeah. Okay. Come on, cooperate. Okay, the other one.
So this is actually the boy version of the Taylor Swift talk. This is the topic goes on to Roblox. This one is a little bit on the tricky side because we actually invited two speakers. The first one is a developmental psychologist who's also a therapist who talked about, unfortunately, the dangers of gaming, especially at a young age, because he's seen it so plentiful among his patients that they really are bombarded by the screen and it's affecting them mentally, psychologically, everything. So it's just to give a fair warning to the student, the rather to the parents who are attending, that it could be something of caution to them, like if they see signs in their children, to maybe even cut back on the time. And then apart from the psychologist or the therapist who was there who talked about the dangers, that there was also the chaplain who talked about how Roblox is like, how do I explain? This is the real world, and for them that is another world on its own. And so it's as if he was trying to give an example that we should really bring up our children so well in the real world so that the persona that they exemplify in the virtual world will be just as virtuous, something to that effect. And so I find that so
Yeah.
beautiful because you can see like the contrast in the bad
So
and
for
the
me,
good.
I'm a millennial.
He's a
I
gamer.
am a gamer. But some parents are not gamers. So, but I am also, I hope to be a good Christian. I understand the dangers of it, but I also see the benefits of it. I reconnected with some of my friends that you could say the friendships have died down because of the Discord platform. And during the pandemic, I couldn't play basketball or golf. We played. So that's an opportunity. But I think for parents here, that it's huge. These things are huge. The game I played is bigger than all Hollywood and income. So and all of the sports what do you call this, NBA, NFL combined. No, this is bigger than all of that. And that's why it was very important that as parents, we understand this is what the kids are going to be facing. And what are the virtues that they need to develop to be able to have fun, connect with friends, but have that command of, hey, okay, it's time to study, it's time to move on. So it's interesting, very interesting for parents. Yeah.
Just to, because this is about technology, I also wanted to bring up how in the pandemic, I think it's a product of pandemic that along with apostolate is to build friendships online as well. And it's so funny because in my age, how old am I? 34 years old already. Um Instead of asking for a phone number, I ask them, "What's your Instagram handle?" And then that's how we connect. And so because that's where you see what your new friend is doing on almost on a daily basis. You get to know them by their profiles, that the pictures that you see that they post, they find important to them. And from there, you can start commenting, making yourself known that, hey, I want to be here for you. I'm a friend for you. And a lot of times these people even talk about their personal problems. Like,
Yeah,
just,
sadly.
yeah, I mean, but at the same time you can be there, you could show that you care about them by just sending them a simple comment. I mean, it's not gonna take, it doesn't take 1 peso or one
Yeah.
dollar euro to just send a friendly nice message, and it's from there that you build the friendship. So there, that's it.
Okay, very good. Okay. So uh no, we're almost ano because we don't want to be so ano baka malate. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one is funny because yeah, we have a what you
So
call
we
a
have our
couple circle. Hala, people attending the means of formation of Opus Dei. Are you so this one is actually for those who are a little more, you could say, wanting to receive their formation more seriously. Of course, they attend circles, no? But what has happened to
it's our
us,
version of a prayer meeting,
yes,
you could say
what has
that. Yes.
happened to us is that okay, my wife gives in another so we're lucky because near the village nearby, our friend has a very nice house, I would say a mansion even, right? So yeah, they have another room. The girls have their talks, the dads have their talks on one side, and then when do we meet after?
Eating.
Eating, right? So everybody, every month we have a theme. It's Mexican today, Japanese today, American, Chinese, and then yeah. So see, we only have a prayer and talk period for 30 minutes, and then we have a meal for 2 hours or
That's
more,
right.
right? And see, that's the regular. So they're very regular. Okay, so it's been very good, no? So it's been very good. So
So this has just come out from us organically. So I just have a bunch of friends, and they always ask me, "What about for my husband?
yeah,
We're all in the same car. Might as well go to the same place." And I said, actually, he also gives a prayer meeting for the husbands
yes.
if they'd like to join. I mean,
I thought you were raising hand. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, sige. Hala. Okay, I will just click it. All right. So yeah, of course, uh
I already touched on this
yeah,
about
of
how
course the one-on-ones is at the background of everything with all the friendships that they were developing. I mean, this is something that it is a Christian thing, something that you could say particular to people doing Opus Dei, no, but one-on-ones. After all of these things, you will be overwhelmed with the amount of people that you have to deal with. But it's amazing because it's a hangout. It's a hangout. Okay, next. Okay, so now, as you see, so immersion, and then we see many things. Now we're stuck with so many things that we should do and need to do, right? More opportunities. So what we saw, huh? um, we saw that in wanting to share skills, doctrine, sciences, we have to be able to give it to them in the natural groupings, interest groups, both by as a parent or what your children are interested in, and then there are parents behind. The lightest moments that I could see during football practice is the parents sharing meals at the back. They're talking, they're having a snack, sharing drinks, natural groupings. No, so for us, we saw this one as an example. We did the basic brush strokes. So these are parents of golf varsity students, and so we invited them. Hey, do you want to understand what Opus Dei is about and have a beer? Okay, so they're here. No, They're here together. So there's a lot of opportunities. You can see by batch. no? Here you can have baseball parents, football parents, the clubs, the orgs, right? Um, many opportunities, many opportunities. So, oh, sorry, it went back. Let's go back. There. Natural groupings. So there, as I said, sports interests or natural group of parents. So again, you have your traditional means, classes, talks, right? Doctrine classes, but this is what we found to be very effective. Think of the natural groupings to be able to invite them. You have to be part of it too, right?
I have an amazing friend who decided with her natural grouping of tennis moms, um, she decided to invite the the kids to play tennis as well. So they also learn tennis. And then eventually their group became so loving and loved each other and appreciated each other that it turned into a virtues class. So not all of these parents are Catholic. Some of them are they don't have they haven't decided if they want to be Christian yet, but they decided to join it. And her format is so interesting because on the first floor they talk about virtues with the parents, and then on the second floor, on the ground floor, they talk to the kids about that particular subject. And it's beautiful because the format is not, oh, this is humility, this is how to do it. No, they talk about a saint and how that saint exemplified it by their life. And the children have the exact same talk, but only, of course, catered to a 6-year-old. And then they have like coloring materials. And then it's so interesting when they get back home, they put it all over on their refrigerator so that they can discuss it a bit further. And because they're given a little bit of little keepsake from that saint, like maybe it has a prayer, like prayer for Saint Pedro Calungsod, the patron of the Philippines, or one of the first saints of the Philippines. And then they talk about, discuss it in the by the refrigerator, and then suddenly the son or daughter will say, "I think I want to be a saint." So it's very interesting, so cute, and it makes you think as well, like maybe I also want to be a saint. I don't know. So this
So
is
yeah,
this
that's
one in particular, yeah.
so since in the interest of time, um,
It's 12.
it's 12 o'clock.
Sorry.
So we will, yeah.
Yeah, we can have around maybe 10 minutes Q&A.
Okay, yeah. So we also want to hear from you guys. I mean,
Definitely.
it's interesting for us why you chose our topic over the very interesting sex
They
education
want to chill
controversy
out.
in the Philippines, right? So I want to attend that one too myself. But so okay, questions. Thank
Now,
you for listening. Thank you.
okay, thank you, Lance and Isha, for a very insightful session. Okay, so I'm sure us parents, educators, and single people like me, we learned a lot of tips and insights on how to form children and how to really make our students and children be more interested in formation. Now's the time for Q&A. So if anyone wants to share something or ask them a question,
You
please raise
guys
your
must be
hand.
hungry also.
Yes,
So
don't
pardon
worry.
us.
You just go
We
through the
feel you.
Q&A
Yes,
in the
Q&A.
I
mealtime.
should have brought a food pala. That was my advice. No?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Thank you. It's really wonderful to see young couple like you sharing. Yeah, it's very rare now that young couples will have this kind of opportunity to share. We are out actually of PAREF schools because we were invited only by one of your organizers. So we are from Taipei, from Dominican International School. It's a Catholic school in Taipei, and having this conference we learned a lot actually, and we found the nuances as well as the similarities, the concern and struggles of parents. Especially I moderate the parents in our school, and beside me is the vice principal, so I can talk a little less. But I like to note the last part that you have shared about the parents who are not even Christians or Catholic, because our profile, our school is 1% of Christian. The denomination mostly are non-believers because it's
What
a
is the name of the school, ma'am?
Dominican International School.
So it's a Catholic school.
It's a Catholic school, the only Catholic school in Taipei, international school. So it it out is like quite unique. But our clients, most of our students, mostly are only like 20 Catholics. Yeah, 20 Catholic students,
Okay.
Filipinos, Indians, um,
So
Thai-
yeah, so how to go about with non-Catholics?
yeah. So we pointed out like the
Get
gatherings.
together. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll let her tell the story, but I think, ma'am, you have to have the confidence that since they enrolled in a Catholic school, that's already like okay, that's the first step. They enrolled in a Catholic school, they're entrusting their children to you. I don't know if they don't understand that, but at least that's already big confidence. So for you, how did they?
This is born out of it was very not organic, I guess you could say, because it came from tennis. And then after that, they just started talking about each other and their lives and how they could improve their lives. And from improving their lives, they realized, oh, I think I should supplement it with some classes. And so the classes involve those virtues. And I think if you have non practice no, non-Christians at all, virtues is something
Yeah,
very universal. You can talk about
values,
human virtues,
virtues. Yeah,
values. It's not a
I
problem.
think it's very exciting, ma'am, because if they see Christian values outlined in a very practical way, like say for example in that setting they were naturally your tennis
Yes.
tennis group
And since it's tennis,
and then
they
moms.
get very competitive.
Yeah.
And so you have to build the patience and the consistency in actually hitting the ball properly and
So for
creating a
us,
score.
we're like when I
The same thing.
maybe an idea is like for us, we have like the parents of specific football players. We were thinking, hey, maybe we can talk to the parents, so and the children also on, hey, these are the Christian virtues that are actually going to be helpful to be a
In
good
playing that sport.
football
Yes.
player. So the topic is not force fed on them, but hey, we have something good. We believe that can it be advantageous to
Exactly.
you, not even a
I mean,
non-Catholic, like
just
practicing.
a top of mind idea is Pele, the soccer player, who really just consistently, despite poverty, just got out of it because he consistently played it every day with his father.
Yeah,
So that's another
perseverance,
perseverance can be
diligence.
talked
So
about.
so
You know,
those
you don't
general
have to be a saint as well.
values, those are ways to connect to them that are not necessarily heavy, where you don't talk about the divinity of Jesus Christ. No, you talk about values, which is universal, right? So
No problem.
There are many non-Christian parents who want their children to enter into the Dominican school because of values.
there.
There you go.
So that is a good positive point for us to evangelize.
Yes. Good luck. We'll pray for you.
System in the school where there's the estimated value outcomes of the school. We have the torch, the truth, the universal virtues. Yeah, where parents also are housed in
Actually, we have
truth.
a lot to
Yeah,
learn from
yeah.
you. You should be sharing.
But I am really happy to see this one because I'm like we are a firm
Yeah.
since we are not catering Christian students, no. It's very inspiring
Yeah.
to see
Thank you.
that.
Inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more? Okay.
Thank you very much for sharing. From Kenya, Kenda School, with my colleagues here. I can see here that you have, let's say, you spend a lot of time with other parents, right? And also, it looks like you have a big fun time together as parents in the school, which is great. I love it. I'm just wondering if a parent has like 5, 6 children and they are not in the same school, how would you manage? Because I think sometimes that happens
Yeah.
quite a lot, and to split themselves into two,
Yeah.
yeah, that you have to have these friends and those
Of
friends and
course.
the other friends, it's a bit taxing. So how do you go about that, or what's your experience? Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Well, we're very lucky because we have 4 children. In fact, the one of the organizers of the Taylor Swift, they have 6 kids. Um, I think we can view that as I mean, again, the world can present it to us as, hey, having kids is heavy. It's true. It has financial burdens, time, emotion. But for us who are, uh, we have to be able to show them that bring the kids, have activities with the kids. Um, we have fun doing it because we try to be creative about it. So if you have more kids, I suppose, yeah, it's funny because yeah, again, as I said, one of the organizers is that it's really more trying to meet where they are. Maybe there are some who have many kids, but in the Philippines we have what do you call this? Helpers. So they help us. Nannies in the Philippines. So we're lucky to have those. But for those who cannot, yeah, I know of parents who are football parents who bring their kids who are always there. Some of them they're saying, if you join baseball, forget about your weekend. I have 4 kids. I'm always in practice in the morning. So you meet them there. You meet them there.
Are you a parent as well? So for us parents, I think it's okay to, because we're also very unique as individuals, and
Okay.
I feel like it's okay for us to pick a couple of friends, pick them out more than another set of friends, and that's okay. Because we can only survive with so much, energy, and a group of friends that we can really sustain and nurture. So that's fine for me, in my perspective. And if you have parents who can do that and really um pull together a good group of friends that they have, and they all share the same values, that's no problem. It doesn't matter if it's the third child whose parents that they drive with. It doesn't matter if it's the fifth. At least they have that pool of friends that they can cling on to, with no matter what they go through, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Another thing is in Southridge, since I was a student here 25 years ago, they've always had a recollection every month for dads. But they've modified that. So the dads are doing the recollection, the children are doing a workshop, the moms are doing a cooking workshop. And then they all meet for mass, family mass at lunch. I think it's
That's
become
also another possibility.
yeah. So we can really be very creative about if time is really an issue because you don't have nannies or helpers and then work is hard, then yeah, take advantage of those free moments to bring the family together while giving those traditional structured means. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Okay. Okay. We could entertain one last for our lunch. So
Thank you very much for that wonderful talk. I came in a bit late, but regret missing the first bit. My question is to pick on what my colleague was asking. One, um, let's say a parent has a new child who has joined the school, let's say grade one, and you have older children. So, how do you, as a couple who are very intentional about spreading the message of Opus Dei, explain that to the new parents who have joined the school? I mean, your class, the class of your daughter. Question number two: how are new parents who are not they're just new parents, they've never maybe heard about the message of Opus Dei. How is that explained to a whole group of parents in the school?
No, actually, I was going to use you as an example. Say, really, because she has friends in Woodrose, the girls' school for PAREF here. And she just attended doctoring classes with two of her co-parents who are new to the PAREF system. And then I asked her, what did you do? Did you invite them? Did you give them the book, the way, whatever? She said, I did nothing. I just became a friend. And then all of a sudden, they invited me to attend with them. So,
I
so
had to pretend that I didn't know
well, yeah.
what the topic of the doctrine class was, and I just stood.
Yeah, but
But I learned. I mean,
again, I think the start was, again, it's really friendship. We're limited. We can't be friends with the 90 people in our batch. But at least for the people who are close to us, it becomes natural. So for her, it's the two best friends of her, two best friends of our daughter. And then they just became naturally friends. And then now they're attending. I don't know how. They're attending doctrine class. because they're friends,
I
no?
think
So
what he means is
mm,
it can be a gradual explanation of Opus Dei. It doesn't
yeah,
have to be a full front. By the way, this is what Opus Dei, this is what
yes,
it means. It's okay.
yeah,
Because eventually they'll start to love it because they'll see it formed in their
the
children as
children,
well, in the way that they're given their homework, in the way that their classes are figured out, and like the teachers that they encounter, who they look up to, then they'll start to see virtues and values. My teacher didn't allow this, my teacher allowed didn't allow this, and then it'll start to click for them as well. But
yeah,
for a big crowd, especially if they have zero knowledge,
yeah.
you know,
We
my husband and I, we often watch this sushi maker. His name is, what's his name? Jiro loves
Jiro,
sushi.
you know,
Jiro. And we said, this guy, if he just put Christianity in him, he's basically doing the
yeah,
work of God. So it can actually start something like that. We all want to do something excellent. We want to put our name into the world, be something, but it doesn't have to be as big as Jiro that he's featured in a film and
yeah,
on Netflix.
correct,
It can be as small, and whatever thing that we do excellently will hit one person, but we don't know it. And
yeah,
that's what Opus Dei is. And that's as simple as we can get. It
right.
doesn't, yeah, exactly.
So now, but also, I think the whole maybe the half of the workshop that we're emphasizing is yes, it's okay to talk to a big group, but what we've found to be very successful where people really absorb things is to really try to break them down into smaller groups rather than a loudspeaker and then propaganda and then no. No. So I hope we answered
I
your
hope so.
question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lance and Isha, and to everyone who asked. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Okay? So, we hope that we learned so many valuable insights from our session. So, Sir Lance and Miss Isha would like to present a certificate to you. Okay? So, to read, um, we PAREF would like to in recognition of your invaluable contribution as a certified bridge maker during the breakout session entitled Apostolic Initiatives with Parents, held during the conference entitled Building Bridges, a global collaboration of best practices on 21st century character education at PAREF Southridge School. So once again, thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Capulong. Take a picture, please. So, and one more photo. Please. Okay. Okay, after the photo op, we'll have an announcement. Thank you. Okay, thank you for your participation. So to brief everyone about the schedule, we're actually late, starting late, but it's lunchtime already. Lunchtime will be held at the same venue, the basement cafeteria. And lunchtime is until 1:30 because our next session will be at the Southridge Auditorium starting at 1:30. We would like to also announce to please make sure that once the next session has started, please make sure that you're not in the cafeteria anymore because the basement cafeteria will be used for a 2 p.m. talk. Okay? So thank you very much and happy eating.